City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a 2025 SummerSlam Night 2 review, baby. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to get into, before we even jump into the review and how I felt about the show particularly, we got to talk about this. We have to get this on the damn table, all right? Some of you might be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Some of you might even be happy about this fact that happened, and that's fine. But I don't think that this shit should be swept under the rug, or I don't think we should let this shit slide, because this is how it starts, right? We start with little lies, and then we turn those little lies into even bigger lies. The little lie, or the big lie that we got told, really, was that over the last year and a half, we were told that Cardi B, Bardigan, I don't know her full name, Bardigan, she was supposed to be the host of SummerSlam. All right, we got advertisement on top of advertisement on top of advertisement for damn near a year straight, saying that Bardigan was going to be the fucking host of SummerSlam. Now, when I think of the term host, I think back to The Miz hosting WrestleMania. I think back to like Snoop Dogg or whoever, I think back to old hosts, people who actually hosted the entire show, people that host the Academy Awards and the Oscars, people that host these things, like a Kevin Hart, like a fucking, I guess Shane Gillis just hosted the ESPYs. That's a host. These people that hosted these things, they did things throughout the entire show, announced the next matches, right? Had segments with the superstars that actually aired on TV or on pay-per-view, however you want to call it, right? Now, with Bardigan, we were just told for 8 months to a year, damn near, that she was supposed to be the host, and all she did was open the show on night one. Night one. In my opinion, that calls for WWE to be sued for false advertising. In my opinion, I don't know. Maybe somebody who watches my videos is a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure people can come up on that, because there's people that paid $17,000. You got to understand, there's people that paid $17,000, upwards of $30,000 for 2-night tickets in the front row seats. People that paid $20,000, they were told, hey, Cardi B's gonna be there. Maybe they weren't even, excited for Cardi B. Maybe they didn't care that Cardi B was gonna be there. But one thing's for fucking sure, they were told that Cardi B was gonna be there. Maybe they expected a song, a segment, a little match, like a little impromptu match with one of the women. Something. Give me something. We got nothing. That is unacceptable. Triple H, look me in my eyes, my man. Okay? Look me in my eyes and let me tell you something. You are a lying bitch. You're a lying whore for this. This is something that I will not let go, because this is how it starts. Like I said, this is how it starts. It starts with little lies, and I don't consider this a little lie. I consider this a huge lie, a ridiculously huge lie. To say that we're going to have a host, Cardi B is going to be the host, and then have her just do an opening shot on night one, and then that's it. We never hear from Cardi B again. I had to start it off like that, because I had to. The WWE, for as much as they lie and gaslight us on these shows, this is the kind of lie that you can't let them get away with. Because they lie to us all the time, try to tell us that Cody Rhodes is great. And here's the thing. I understand that they have to, Triple H doesn't know how to tell a story, so the only way that he can make us think that somebody's great is by consistently trying to reinforce and tell us over and over again that this person is great, instead of showing us that this person is great. So I understand that. But this is a kind of lie that I refuse to let go. I refuse to let this one go. So now moving more into the show.
Yeah, I'm feeling the rage.
All right. Was this night better than night one? Sure. Right? I mean, it was better per se because there were bigger names on the card. I mean, obviously yesterday you had Gunther and CM Punk, but really, who else besides that did you really have? I mean, you had Roman Reigns and Jey Uso in the first match. The whole Seth Rollins thing, that was just the beginning. But the middle of the show, no star power, zero star power. At least in this show, you had like Becky. Even though I don't necessarily like her, there's no doubting that she is a legend at this point. She's been in the game that long. So yeah, we had Becky, right? We had the TLC match. So that was, that was cool. But really, overall, this show, while better than night one, this show once again was a stinker, in my opinion. Triple H made the wrong fucking move by having John Cena drop the title right back to Cody Rhodes. We're right back where we started before WrestleMania, when Cody Rhodes was champion, when he was stinking up the joint as WWE champion before. And now you put it right back on him, just like we just did with Gunther. What are we doing here in WWE? Triple H took the title off of Gunther at WrestleMania, then put it back on him just to take it back off of him again here at SummerSlam. Now he's doing the same thing with Cody Rhodes, where he took the title off him for a couple of months there, had him just go back and just bury everybody and win the King of the Ring tournament, bury Randy Orton, bury LA Knight, bury all these people in order to get Cody right back to the top, to inflate Cody's fraudulent fucking resume, because Cody is nowhere near a Hall of Fame level, has nowhere near a Hall of Fame level resume, not even in the slightest. Hulk Hogan just passed away, and you mean to tell me that Cody Rhodes is somehow supposed to be in the WWE Hall of Fame when 90% of his career he spent as a fucking jobber?
No.
And that's the guy that John Cena drops his championship to on his last title reign. He beats Cody Rhodes for the title and then loses to Cody Rhodes for the title. I'll never get that feud that I wanted between LA Knight and John Cena. I already knew that I wasn't going to get that just because of the way that Triple H books LA Knight. But I at least was able to hold out hope while John Cena was champion. Now that he's not champion, and now that the Beast Incarnate has made his return, because yes, Brock Lesnar has made his return, we already know that for the next few months, that's all that John Cena is going to be fucking doing. He's going to be back and forth with Brock Lesnar. All right, Brock Lesnar is going to probably destroy him at Clash in Paris, and then John Cena is probably going to win by the skin of his teeth at the next pay-per-view, and then for the last pay-per-view, probably after Survivor Series, probably at Survivor Series, I believe, because I think that's the last pay-per-view of the year, if I'm correct. We'll take a look at that, but probably at Survivor Series, that's when John Cena is going to ultimately go over on Brock Lesnar, and I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't like. I would be happy to see Brock Lesnar, and I am happy to see Brock Lesnar. I am so excited. I'm like, yes, finally, a little bit more of star power in the WWE, because it's desperately needed. It is desperately needed. But these guys are going to be feuding over what? Why did Brock Lesnar come back and beat up on John Cena and not Cody Rhodes, the guy who he was just in a feud with the last time he was here? Why would he not do that? Why would he not beat them both up? Just destroy them both. We could get a triple threat between Cody Rhodes, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar. That's box office. Sure, I don't want to see another match with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, but there has to be a rubber match at some point. John Cena just beat Cody Rhodes in this feud, and then now he just lost. So there has to be some kind of a rubber match, right? Have Brock Lesnar win in that motherfucker. Have John Cena become 18-time world champion in this bitch. Just do it. Fuck it. Give us something. Give us something to actually look forward to. But instead, we have, once again, Cody Rhodes as WWE champion. And who the fuck is Cody Rhodes gonna fight next? You didn't have anything for him in his last title reign. He feuded with like 5 fucking people over the course of a year. Over the course of almost 400 days, feuded with 5 people, had like 3 or 4 matches with each of them. 10 title defenses, 9 or 10 title defenses. And this is the motherfucker that we're putting it back on when we already had nothing for him before. Who is he going to fight? Who's Cody Rhodes going to fight? Who's the next big feud? Back to Roman? Probably not, because Roman's on Raw. He's doing his thing on Raw right now, which I will get into. We have to talk about this shit a little bit later. But I don't understand this booking, man. I don't understand the booking. I don't understand what Triple H, like, what does Cody Rhodes have on Triple H? We all seen Unreal most likely by now, and we've seen how Triple H is a fucking gooner, a triple goon, hugging and kissing all up on all the women, giving them all real long, deep, sensual hugs and grabbing on their ass and shit like that after they come out from a match, whispering in their ear sweet nothings and licking on their earlobes and shit. What does Cody Rhodes have on Triple H? Where Cody Rhodes is now a 2-time WWE champion for no reason, with no opponents lined up. Cody Rhodes had nothing going on besides this. Cody Rhodes has been pretty much absent for the most part. And the only thing that he's been focused on is this thing with John Cena. So who's next? Randy Orton again? Kevin Owens makes his miraculous return? Who's next? Who is next? We know it's not LA Knight. We know that for sure. So I'm confused. This is what I'm saying. Like, we got to think about this shit long term. We got to think about SummerSlam not only for the night 1 and night 2. Because we had a couple of cool matches. I liked the TLC match for what it was. I thought it was garbage, especially towards the end there, when the Wyatt Six really started getting involved, and it's like none of the tag teams got the bright idea to just jump these motherfuckers. But I thought it was okay, at least for the first half of it. I didn't think the Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria match was too bad, although I really didn't care about it at all. I thought the first match was decent as well. Naomi looked very strong in that match, and I can appreciate that. But seriously, man, like, we gotta not just look at that. We gotta also look at the build to SummerSlam. And then we have to look at the implications of SummerSlam, the implications of the booking. And as far as the WWE Championship goes, as well as the WWE Women's Championship goes, who's next? And who cares who's next? Tiffany Stratton, once again. And now Cody Rhodes, once again. This was a horrible weekend of wrestling in my personal opinion. This was a horrible weekend of wrestling. We got a couple of surprises, I guess. The Seth Rollins thing, it wasn't necessarily a surprise because we all really had it in the back of our minds that it might be a possibility that Seth Rollins does come back, right? So there was that, and then I don't think anybody was really expecting Brock Lesnar to come back. But him coming back to fight John Cena For what? Glory? Like, legacy? What is he fighting John Cena for? And we all know that in Triple H's booking, none of this shit is going to be explained. Not even slightly. So, I know that this was a very, very long intro. We're going to do a pretty quick rundown of the card, and then we're going to go ahead and get into my thoughts afterwards, okay? So, we start off, of course, with some superstar walkouts, but not just any superstar walkouts, because these superstar walkouts was brought to you by Wingstop. Everything's for sale in WWE. If you didn't know, okay, we get a Drewski hype package recap from everything that happened yesterday and all that. And then Triple Nose, Triple Fraud, Triple Goon opens up the fucking show. All right, Triple Dunce himself opens up the show. And he doesn't say what the attendance was. That's kind of what I was expecting them to do. But all he said was that this is the biggest SummerSlam ever. This is the biggest. Welcome to the biggest SummerSlam ever. And I have one question for you. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You know how Triple H does. So that's how we got to start off the show. No cardigan, bardigan. Okay, when I saw Triple H come out, I was like, all right, cool, Triple H is coming out. But I was still expecting Cardi B to come out because they said that she was going to be the host. That's what they said. All right, that's what I was expecting because that's what they said she was going to do. Then, after Triple H sucks his own nuts off for a little bit, we get the first match, all right? Which, by the way, he came out to King of Kings, all right? This guy's ego is out of control. He had a theme song, and, we all know his theme song, right? And then he comes out to this theme song, his alternate theme song, the King of the Kings, because he believes that he is that. He believes he's the King of Kings. Son of a bitch. How fucking, like, his ego is so out of control. But we get Rhea versus Io versus Naomi, and this was a pretty good match, in my opinion. Naomi looked very strong in this match, and that dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun was all over the place, okay? It was all over, and I'm never upset about that. She came out, her entrance, she did it with her dad, I guess. He's a guitar player. Not a very good guitar player in my opinion, but it's nice that she got her dad that spot, at SummerSlam and all that stuff, and he got to be on a stage like that. So, the match, it went as follows. Most of the match, Naomi was basically getting double teamed by Rhea and Io, but Naomi was showing that she was crafty, aggressive, very, very, unorthodox offense that she was using. There was a lot of really fun spots in this match on account of Naomi, right? I just really enjoyed this match for what it was, mainly because anytime I get to see that dun 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 dun, that 2-0, you know what I'm saying? Anytime I get to see that shit on display, I'm never upset. All right. So Naomi ended up picking up the victory after she rolled up Rhea Ripley. After Rhea Ripley hit like I forget, I think it was a super riptide on Io Sky, and then right as Rhea Ripley's going for the pin, Naomi takes advantage and rolls Rhea Ripley up, grabs them tights, and then that's how we ended that match off. So after this, and I didn't mind this match. It was okay. After this, we got the announcement that SummerSlam's going to be in Minneapolis next summer. All right, so there was that. We move on to the 6-pack ladder match. That's not what they called it, but that's what they called it at WrestleMania a couple years ago when it was like 6 teams in the ladder match. So that's what I'm going to call it this time around. And one thing I wanted to say about this match, because like I said before, the match was pretty decent in the first half, but while the Wyatt Six were coming out and they were doing their entrance and such, Michael Cole and fucking Wade Barrett, they kept, they were breaking kayfabe. Like, they were so in and out of kayfabe here, and they were fucking it up, and it was really just destroying any kind of mystique that the Wyatt Six has had. And that's been going on for a long time. Like, seriously, The Wyatt Six have had no story since they've been in WWE. They came in, they killed everybody in the backstage for some reason, and then the next week everybody was just fine. And then there could have been a mystery storyline where maybe Chad Gable was the only one who was like, he was like questioning what was going on, but nobody else understood what he was talking about, and maybe the Wyatt Six were going to target him. And, you know, I thought that could have been a good story, but then they just nipped that storyline completely in the bud, right? Just killed it before it could even get started by just saying, oh yeah, well, that's Bo Dallas. We all know that that's Bo Dallas. Oh yeah, why are you tripping? Like, everybody's back to normal. Everybody's good, right? They just threw that whole thing away. Then the Wyatt Six, they lose at some point to fucking the Final Testament, right before the Final Testament gets just fired. All of them. Paul Ellering, right? The two big greasy motherfuckers. I don't remember their names. All right, they were very forgettable, but all of them got fired right after they beat the Wyatt Six, who was supposed to be the new hot commodity, right? And then they just disappear off TV for like 6 months, and now we're back here. And the Wyatt Six is in this match, this long ass fucking match where they're defending the tag team championships. Like, they did all this. They came to WWE to get the tag team championships. Never explained why they were going after the tag team championships. It's just, oh, your loyalty will be tested. Like, what the fuck is this, man? But anyways, we get into this match, and while Michael Cole and Wade Barrett are doing the entrances, they're fucking talking about, Abby the Witch is here. I know it's Nikki Cross, but when she plays Abby the Witch, when she portrays Abby the Witch, I get very creeped out by her. What the fuck even is that? Why would you say that? And then they start going down the list of, oh, well, Joe Gacy, he used to be a cult leader, and Dexter Loomis, he used to be like a math genius or some shit like that. Like, yo, this is why nobody cares about this group, because you don't even care enough to let their characters just be their characters. Why does we, the audience, we can know, right? We can know that it's Nikki Cross, that is Bo Dallas, but why do the wrestlers have to know? Why can't they be in their own world, and the announcers and stuff? Why do they have to know? And why are they fucking just, just throwing it out there all willy-nilly, like, oh, well, they're just playing characters. Like, so how are we supposed to care about them? Why would we care about them? They're just playing characters, right? That's all this is. They're just portraying these people. So anyways, we get into this match, and, there were a lot of cool little spots or whatever. There was one spot where the Street Profits pushed Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa through like a setup of like 4 tables. There was a spot where everybody there was a spot where I think it was Ray Phoenix did it was either Ray Phoenix or one of the Fraxium dudes did like a Spanish fly to Angelo Dawkins onto one of the outside tables, and everybody else was just doing like dives and stuff to that tables that were set up on the outside. There was a lot of fun action in here. Candice LeRae and a bunch of the women got involved. I really hated this part of the match. All right, this is the part of the match where I really was like, what? This is like when it started to go off the rails for me, because 3 women are in this match of 6 tag teams. There's already so many fucking people in this match, and then we have 3 women. We have B-Fab, right? We had Candice LeRae, and we had one other woman. I don't remember who else was in there, but Candice LeRae, B-Fab, and one other woman, all in there fighting, trying to help out their respective teams to get Abby. It was Abby the Witch, right? It was fucking Candice LeRae, Abby the Witch, and B-Fab. They're all fighting for their respective teams, trying to also get to the championships. And Candice LeRae takes this brutal fucking bump going through the bridge that was set up by Tommaso Ciampa like 5 minutes or so earlier, before all the women came in outside, and she fell right through the table from the top of the ladder, or not the table, right through the ladder from the top of the ladder inside of the ring, and that shit was crazy. But yeah, this whole, like I said, this match, it really starts to go off the rails because fucking Eric Rowan gets involved, right? Fucking Bo Dallas, right? Uncle Howdy gets involved. Everybody is getting involved in this match, and it's like there's already too much going on. You got 6 tag teams in this ring, and none of them have the idea just to take all these people out, just jump them real quick, get them out of the way, and then we could all fight for it, right? Like anytime they, get up, we once again turn our attention to these guys and whoop their ass. Why did nobody think of this? Why is nobody out? Like, why are we allowing the Wyatt Six as a whole team to come out there and just destroy us when there's 12 of us? There's 12 people, right? So without the Wyatt Six's team, right, of Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, without those two, there's 10 people versus 4. And then if you add in B-Fab and Candice LeRae, that's 12 people versus 5 if you add in Abby the Witch for the Wyatt Six, right? So why are you not jumping these people? That's 12 versus 5. Like, there's no fucking logic here, man. I didn't even want to spend this long talking about this match, but whatever. Eric Rowan got involved, Bo Dallas got involved, and fucking the Wyatt Six, they ended up in a very anticlimactic way climbing up the ladder and pulling down the title. I believe it was Joe Gacy that pulled down the titles. So there was that. It was a okay match for the first half, and then the second half of the match, it really just went off the rails, and I started to completely hate it. So I gave that match like a 3 out of 10, right? Then we move on to Becky versus Lyra, okay? This match was all right, I guess. It was just, I didn't care about it. Lyra spent like 60% of the match with her hands zip tied, and she was trying to fight off Becky. And then at some point, Bayley did get involved, right? Bayley ends up getting involved and ends up inadvertently punching out fucking Lyra Valkyria while Becky was getting ready to do a move on her. Then Becky ends up rolling her up and then gets the victory, and Becky Lynch is still the Intercontinental Champion, and nobody cares, so we move on. Next up, we get Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa, and this match, I hated it for the mere fact that we basically just got the same thing that we've been getting over the last, 6 weeks that they've been feuding like this. I think it's been longer. I think it's been probably 2 months or so at this point that they've been feuding. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu, their match got interrupted by the MFTs, of course. There was a point in the match where the MFTs scaled the fence, right? Jimmy Uso got involved, right? But here's my thing. This is one of the questions that I had about this match, because like I said, the MFTs got involved, and that's a team of so that's 4 people, 5 people, I think, on Solo Sikoa's side. Where's Jey Uso and Roman Reigns? Because Jimmy Uso came out to help Jacob Fatu. And I understand that Jay and Roman haven't really had any interactions with Jacob Fatu, but at the same time, Jey Uso did just team with his tag with Jimmy Uso just a couple months ago, right before WrestleMania, right before Gunther did all that shit to him in the middle of the ring, beat the dog shit out of him in the middle of the ring, and they're both in Newark, right? We're not. They just had a match the night before. Why wouldn't they come out to at least help their brother, help their cousin, right? I mean, even if it's not for Jacob Fatu, why not help Jimmy, who could potentially be in a lot of danger here against all these people? So we're supposed to be believing now that Roman has a heart of gold, and Roman is now willing to help out his family because he sacrificed himself for Jey Uso. But when it's Jimmy and Jacob in the ring and they're about to get mauled by the MFTs, nobody is there to be found. Not Roman, not Jey. It just doesn't make sense, man. But like I said, they got involved in the match. Solo Sikoa ends up climbing his way out of the match, out of the cage, and falls to the floor in a very anticlimactic way. All right, nobody was excited about this finish, just like most of the shit that happened tonight. Nobody was really excited throughout this evening. So Solo ends up picking up the victory, and then after the match, Jimmy Uso throws Jeff Cobb and fucking Tongaloa back in the ring, and Jacob Fatu, he just lays waste to them, a couple super kicks. Then he hits a fucking moonsault. They're calling it the mighty moonsault now. I hate it. I hate that. I hate that so much. But he hits a mighty moonsault from the top of the cage onto Jeff Cobb and Tongaloa, and that's kind of how that ends off there. There was a point in the evening where they showed Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown yet again. They did it yesterday, but I wasn't going to talk about it. Then they did it again today. So I'm like, yo, how much fucking TV time are you going to take? Like, LA Knight is not on the card tonight, and we have to see more of Mr. Iguana and Psycho Clown. What is up Triple H's fucking rectum at this point, man? All right, next up after this, we get Stephanie McMahon. She comes out with all them titties out and announces the attendance, okay? She announces that there are 60,000 people in the arena this evening. So here's the math in case you were wondering. There were 53,000 people there last night. That's a difference of 7,000 tickets, okay? At least 7,000 tickets, or around 7,000 tickets, I should say, right? So around 7,000 tickets from night 1 to night 2. Then the bitch said, if you combine those nights, that would equal around 118,000, right? People that showed up overall, right? So therefore, it's the biggest SummerSlam of all time. I say that's not how that shit works, in my opinion, right? There's that, like, you got to seriously think about this shit, man. There was a potential of 80,000, it's like 82,500 seats in the MetLife Stadium. They only were able to get 60,000 tickets sold on night 2 and 53,000 around there on night 1. That's a total of an excess of 20,000 if you want to add them both nights up, right? That's an excess of over 40 to 50,000 tickets that went unsold. Why don't we talk about it from that perspective, Miss Stephanie McMahon? But of course, that's not what we were gonna. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they were gonna talk about. You know what I mean? So whatever, right? That ends up happening, and then we move on to the I believe the main event. I feel like I'm missing a match on here, but honestly, if I'm missing a match on here, I don't give a damn, right? I mean, we really don't care about the shit that happened on this card tonight. So I guess we're going to go ahead and move on to the main event, which was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, right? Now, this match was leagues better, in my opinion, than their match at WrestleMania. There was a lot of, obviously it was a lot longer, and John Cena took a lot more bumps, and, John Cena, he just looked like he was ready to go while he was out there, so it was good to see. Obviously, we got the wrong winner in this match, and Cody Rhodes is being booked, once again, like he's prime Hulk Hogan. Cody Rhodes kicked out of like 8 attitude adjustments. 8. And one of those attitude adjustments was an attitude adjustment from the top rope. Why is Cody Rhodes being booked like this? Okay? I was going to praise Cody Rhodes on Friday night because, from a camera angle that they had, Cody Rhodes was looking fucking positively jacked. But then he pulls off his shirt and John Cena pulls off his shirt, and I see once again that Cody Rhodes, he's a damn stick figure still compared to John Cena, who is fucking 48, 49 years old, damn near 50 years old. And he's kicking out of 8 attitude adjustments. This guy who just got laid out with 1 title shot at WrestleMania is now kicking out of 8 attitude adjustments, including 1 a fucking avalanche attitude adjustment. Cody Rhodes is not that guy. He's not that fucking guy. And then they have John Cena lose to this guy after Cody Rhodes spends most of the match looking like he maybe might turn heel. Maybe he could possibly, the crowd was booing him throughout the entire match. They already knew this was going to happen. This was the perfect opportunity if they were going to do something like that. Maybe give us something a little unexpected. But no, Cody Rhodes just Super Cena's his way through, right? Like prime Super Cena his way through. Prime Hulk Hogan's his way through this shit, right? And then just wins, picks up the victory after taking the fucking ring apart, doing all this shit. Like they went through a lot, but they went outside of the ring for a little while, outside into the audience where they fought for a little while. John Cena got suplexed onto like a steel barricade. That shit was crazy, right? John Cena attitude adjusted Cody Rhodes through the announce table, where Cody Rhodes again kicked out of. All right, it didn't make any sense to me that this was a street fight, yet they had to pin them in the ring. I didn't like that at all, because there was so many points, especially when John Cena hit an attitude adjustment on the fucking ramp, right? He popped up out of the damn elevator on the ramp and with Cody Rhodes on his shoulder, and then just threw him like it wasn't even an attitude adjustment. He just fucking tossed 240 pounds of human being named Cody Rhodes onto the ramp. Just fucking yeeted him onto the ramp, right? And Cody Rhodes kicks out of it. Cody Rhodes kicks out of everything. Cody Rhodes is better than Super Cena. He is better than Prime Hogan, okay? He's more durable than both of them combined, because he can take any amount of punishment as long as it's not, the storyline that he has to get hit in the head with a title and then just immediately die. So Cody Rhodes ends up holding up the championship after hitting the crossroads on John Cena and, hitting the salute and all that stuff. Cody Rhodes, he basically gets the torch passed to him by John Cena, and we're left wondering in this moment, well, what does John Cena have in store for the next 4 months? Nobody cares about what the fuck Cody Rhodes has going on, all right? The only question in mind really is, okay, well, what does this mean for the rest of John Cena's reign? And then the fucking music hits, all right? We get the Beast incarnate back, all right? Back. And he stands around up on that ramp for a little while, and he's looking up at John Cena and John Cena's face the entire time. You could just tell John Cena was not prepared for this here. All right, John Cena was fucking, in my opinion, and very rightfully so, scared out of his damn mind. And the match that I was thinking about that I forgot about was Dom versus AJ, and who cares about that match? Dom won. But John Cena is scared out of his damn mind at this point, right? So Brock Lesnar, he makes his way down to the ring. He stares at John Cena a little longer. He ends up getting into the ring after taking off his coat, taking off his hat, and hits John Cena with the F5, and that's how the show goes off the air. So, that was a really good surprise, in my opinion. Does it save this SummerSlam? Does it make this SummerSlam good or even great or even fucking decent? No. All right? This SummerSlam was a dud all the way through. Night 1 and night 2. Both of them. Ass. Both of them. Awful booking all the way through. Awful booking. And then you got to top it off with the fact that now we have to look at the future. Who does Tiffany Stratton face next? Who does Becky Lynch face next? I mean, there's a ton of women on the Raw roster that she could face next, and hopefully they start bringing up more women from NXT here soon. But who is fucking Cody Rhodes gonna face next, and who cares, right? Who's Dom gonna face next? What's next for all these guys? What's next for fucking AJ Styles after losing his match to Dominic Mysterio, right? These are the questions that we now have to ask, all right? I appreciate you guys for sticking in with me throughout this entire SummerSlam weekend. It's been a great weekend. I absolutely love you guys to smithereens, all right? Hit the like and the subscribe button if you've been rocking with your boy this weekend, all right? Let me and comment below what you guys thought of the show as well, all right? Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great. I gave it a 4 out of 10. All right. Not the worst PLE of all time, but absolutely one of them. Okay. It was better than WrestleMania, but that's not saying much because anything is better than WrestleMania 41. So this has been your boy Nate the Great, back with another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.